Hello Flosstube friends, how are you? Welcome to my latest Flosstube. My name is Sally, also known as Flossie Sews and Grows here on YouTube and on Instagram. It's Friday the 7th of February. Wow, isn't 2025 racing past? I can't believe we're at the end of another week. It's just absolutely flying by. Thank you for joining me. If you're a regular subscriber, thank you for returning. Thank you for coming back. If you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoyed listening to what I have to say. And it'd be great if you could pop down below and just click on that subscribe button at the end, and that will notify you of any new videos that I do, and it just gives me a little boost that people do actually want to listen to what I have to say. Lots of progress this week. Well, the last 2 weeks, obviously, I'm doing my 2-weekly schedule. Seems to be working. Gives me every other Friday to kind of do other things. Last Friday, what did I do last Friday? I have no clue. I have no clue. I have no clue. I can't remember. Anyway, probably stitched at some point. Anyway, so I have a new start to show you. I have a finish, a new start, some whips. I've got a few Valentine's stitches to show you. You've possibly seen them way back before, but I just thought, you know, it's a week until Valentine's Day. Just thought I'd show them if anyone needed a bit of encouragement to stitch anything for Valentine's Day, and a lovely thing to show you at the end. So yes, let's get started with my finish. Oh, I'm so pleased to finish this. Let's hold it up without the board. Let's see if that's any more successful. This is the gingerbread house. This is from Stacey Nash, and this was stitched. This was an exclusive at the Jingle Ball before Christmas, and Stacey did a class where she showed us how to finish it. So I have got in the PDF that we got sent if we participated, with the chart for this, there are also the instructions. So I did watch most of the class the night of the Jingle Ball, but I've got the notes to go and to finish this off. So hopefully that's something I can do before too long. I really, you know, the box of doom. So it must be, with this, it must be up to 40 whips, 40 finishes in there that need fully finishing. So, you know, this is another one to add to it. So I stitched this on a 35 count fabric called Gingerbread, from Kate at Sparkly's, and I stitched it predominantly in the called for fancy flosses, but just occasionally made some substitutes. The outside of the house should have been stitched in linen, and Weeks Dye Works linen, which I didn't have, so I actually stitched that in a colour that I thought might stand out a little bit more, and then I used ecru for the linen on that. And the other change I made, I didn't have lily pad, so I used 3011, and 3011 and Caper, which is the green, were quite similar. And actually the table and chair, I think, were charted in either lily pad or Caper, and I actually changed those to a brown and changed the mice to a brown as well, because my Caper, I think these were done in, I think the mice were in Caper, and it's a greeny brown colour Caper, but mine was definitely more green than brown. So I just felt that I did the same with them. The mantelpiece, I put some brown in there as well. And then I think many of you who I chatted to at the Jingle Ball, because I was furiously stitching away at this at the Jingle Ball, trying to get it done. The reds are baked apple and red pear. And again, they're quite, depending on where you get the variegation, they can be quite similar. And I had the wreath of my house really, so the door is in one and the wreath was in another, and you couldn't see the wreath at all. It was just too similar. And I think it was Zoe who's Witchy Poo Kunst on Instagram suggested, why don't I just stitch over what I'd already done rather than try and unpick it, stitch over what I'd done in a slightly lighter colour. So I have done, and I think that stands out a little bit better. So, you know, really pleased with the finish on that, and I think that is going to be just an amazing little sewing book when I fully finished it. So really pleased. Let's just pop it into the box of doom for now. Box of doom's by my side. So that was my one finish, and then I had a new start. So my new start was part of my hashtag, hashtag Breast a British Sal, and it's the Cotton and Twine January box, which is designed, so it's a historic sampler, do the Cotton and Twine monthly subscription boxes, and this month, so they're a British company, and this month it was designed by Emma Congdon from Stitchrovia, so a British designer. So it's really fitted in well with my Best of British Sal. And just to carry on with the theme, I'd actually taken, so the threads for the kit, it is a kit, all come on a piece of card like that, and they're labelled, but actually, because I stitch one thread over, with one strand over two, I wanted to put mine, just make them a little bit easier to use. So I cut them down a bit and popped them on lovely floss drops from Stitches with Charlie Feathers, and then a little bit of ring bling here, which was done for Stitch in London, and that was by Laura at Cotton and Clay. So British designers, British company that have done the box, and some British ladies with small businesses that have other lovely little sewing accessories to use. So I've made a start. I will put the board behind this, and many of you will know that I'm doing this as part of a stitch along with a group of friends. So it's been organised by Marie, who is Stitches and Diamonds, and I know that Charlie Feathers is doing it, so me Sarah, Kim, who's Stitchy Squirrels, I think Sarah is joining us, who is Cross Stitch Sarah. I think Angie, Tiny House Stitcher, might also be joining us as well. So there's quite a few of us, and Marie kindly divided the pattern into 4, and we're starting each part. So part number 1 we started last Saturday, part number 2 will start this Saturday, and then we've got 3 and 4 next week and the week after. So we should, in theory, if we can stay on track, if I can stay on track, we'll have this finished by the end of the month. So here was my part number 1. I've got the My Way too, a little, I think that's the eye of the dot of the eye for the writing underneath, a little butterfly, absolutely beautiful. Now, I think I, in the past, have avoided subscription boxes because, I think because I've never known, you know, much prefer linen to even weave, and that's brilliant that actually these boxes have the choice of Ada or have the choice of linen. So linen for me is brilliant, but you know, quite often they're 32 count, and I've always thought, oh well, you know, you have to stitch over 2 with 32 count. Well, you know me, don't really like stitching over 2, so I am stitching this over 1, and do you know what, it's still wonderful. It's still, you know, the colour is still really vibrant. It might not just be quite as standoutish as if you were stitching with 2 strands, but that's the way I like it. So I'm quite happy with that. I think it looks fantastic. So I think, you know, what I'm trying to say is, you know, if you're thinking, oh, I don't want to do a box because I don't stitch that, or I stitch that, just give it a go, because I mean, this is a beautiful box, and I've really enjoyed doing this so far. So I just think it's, you know, you can change things up slightly. It's like designers, you know, give us a palette of colours, and we don't have to use them on a chart. We can change them. We can use our own creativity. So that's what I've done with this one, and yeah, really enjoying that so far. And I'm really looking forward to stitching part number 2 tomorrow, which I can't remember what that is now. I'll have to have a look at the photograph. But I have shown you that photo, so you can go and have a look as well. So please do let me know if you're joining in. I know my friend Lindsay, actually, who is the Cheshire Stitchers, She has started it this week. She's joining in with us as well. So yeah, there's quite a gang of us. It's nice, and you know, these aren't too huge, so really enjoyable. Put that ready for tomorrow. So next whip, I have been doing, for the first time ever, I've had enough whips to do whip go. So the whip go numbers for January were, I think, I think they were 11 and 20. So my first whip go number that I've worked on is Remember Me by Teresa Kogut, and I started this in September 2023. So this is my oldest whip at the moment. Well, the oldest whip that I'm willing to or want to actually finish. I have got an older whip in the drawer, but I'm not going to work on that. Now I've set myself for whip go. I've set myself a target of, in a month, I have to stitch on something 5 times. So I think the last time you saw my progress on this, I'd stitched on it 3 times, and I've now stitched another two sessions on it. So actually, I don't think I've made a huge amount of progress since you last saw it. Because I think those 2 sessions I did weren't very long, but I think I've come across here to get this to the end, and I've started on this bird as well. I've possibly finished the house. I can't remember if the house was finished the last time I showed this to you. This is the one that I haven't taken a photo of, and I did think I could go back and have a look, see if I could do a still shot from my last video, but if I remember to do that when I'm editing, I'll put it in. But yeah, so I think since the last time you saw this, I haven't made a massive amount of progress. I may have just started on that little flower as well. But this is on a 40 count. I think it's called, is it called Vintage Cream? And it is one that I do need to stitch upstairs with my really good light and the magnifier. I can't stitch it downstairs in the evening. I haven't got a magnifier down there. So yeah, so when I do stitch on it, you know, 1 session for me is stitching on something once in a day. Now, if I stitch on it twice in a day, that still classes as 1 session. So, you know, with some projects, I might stitch them in here kind of after work for an hour or 2, and then I might go downstairs and watch some TV later on in the evening and stitch on something, either stitch on the same or stitch on something different. Well, those, if I'm stitching on something that is the same, and it's my whip go, that will still be 1 session. So you'll see on my next whip go, I've made a lot more progress, because the count, well, there's debate on this one. So the next whip go was Americana Blue, and this was my birthday start for my 50th. So I started on my 50th last September, and there's quite a number of you stitching this with me. Sarah is stitching this. Caroline, my friend Caroline Stitch Corner, is stitching part of it. She's not stitching all of it. Natalie at Sew Stitch Sew Nat is stitching this with me. And there's a few, if I've forgotten you, please do remind me down below that you're stitching it, so I can make a note of it. But there's a fair few, and just go and have a look. Nicole Spohr has had this as a blessing sampler. She stitched this in January. She stitched it in a month. It's pretty big. I am super impressed. Anyway, this fabric, well, I thought it was 36 count, and so as you can see, I have made a lot of progress. I've made quite a lot of progress since you last saw this. I have stitched the pincushion. I've stitched this box here. I've stitched nearly to the end here. I've done quite a bit of this, and I've started on these letters here. Now, for the eagle-eyed amongst you, so I thought this was labelled up as a 36 count fabric. I have taken the chart measurements, and I knew, so I think the chart was 14 inches. So I knew I wanted 2 inches either side. This measured as 18 inches. So I was like, great, I can have 2 inches this side. But as I've got to the end here, So this is the furthest stitch at the end there. You will see, perhaps let's just put this on the board. I'm not going to have a 2-inch gap here. It's probably an inch at the most. So I have gone and measured, I think I did it on the pin cushion, an inch, and measured what an inch was and counted how many stitches were in it, and there were 17. So actually I think this is a 35 count, not a 36, which means my border is really close on this edge. Now, looking at the pattern, I might, so if you can see, this is quite a big symbol here, so I might not stitch that, and I might put, I think, maybe one of these in, or one of these, and then I think I might just have to maybe not stitch this border, and then move this, center this a little bit more, and maybe move everything over here just slightly across slightly. We'll see. I think as I get down to it, I'll just have to review. And also I showed it to a friend on a Zoom call last night, and she did actually say to me, is the fabric even all the way down the edge? And I'm not sure. That's something else that I need to check, because I might just have a little bit more spaced out further down. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's that side, isn't it? A little bit frustrating, but I am not starting again. I've done so much. I'm not starting. Oh, that was the back. Showing you the back. Oh goodness. I'm not starting again, and I'm just going to make the best of it, and I'm sure it'll be beautiful. I'm sure it'll still be beautiful. It might not be quite as charted, but I will add my creative spin to it to make it okay. Yeah, that's all I can do. So yeah, the great thing about Whip Go is that I stitched my other 2 sessions for January on this, and then I have been enjoying it that much, and I think the fact that it's actually really easy to see downstairs without magnification in the light, that actually it has been one that I have been stitching downstairs in the evening. So, you know, Whip Go made me stitch on it, but actually as I've achieved my Whip Go goal, I've actually carried on because I've enjoyed it so much. The next one that I possibly will carry on, I have done, so the Whip Go numbers for February are, I think, are 7 and 8, and for me number 7 is Feast of Friendship, which I haven't touched yet, and the other one is Away We Ride by Blackbird. So they're both Blackbird. Feast of Friendship is Blackbird too. I actually was really excited that this one came up on Whip Go, because I did really want to pick it up. I loved stitching on it last year, and it's one of those where you think, oh, it's Halloween, I can't really stitch on it in January, February, but because it was on Whip Go, I can. And so again this month, 5 sessions on each. So far I have done 3 on Away We Ride, and I'll just pop a little picture up of where I was last time, because I looked at it this morning and thought, oh, I don't think I've actually made that much difference, but I have definitely. So here it is so far. So this is stitched on an amazing fabric called Grandpa's Sleeve from XG Designs. I love it, and I'm stitching this predominantly in the Cool Fall Fancy Floss. And you can see I've come down here on this border. I haven't got a lot of onyx left, and I've got about a month. I think I'm going to Nimble Thimble with some friends, so I've got a month until I can get some more onyx, because I haven't got enough at the moment to put an order in for an online shop, because I like to do a big order to get free postage. Don't we all? Is that not what? Yeah. So I don't really want to pay postage for just one thread, and I'm trying to be really careful at the moment and not spend much money because my stash is pretty good. But my onyx is about to run out, so I thought, right, really, what I need to do is kind of make sure I've got the bones of the borders of where those borders are going to be. So I've gone there. I've come up here as well with the onyx to just get that in the right place so that I can stitch in other bits on this pitch here as well. I've done some of the words, and I have actually, there were quite a few little doodahs in this bit, so this is new. I hadn't stitched that last time. Quite a few doodahs in there, and the bird here I also hadn't. I've started that as well, and I think I've come a little bit further along here, starting to get. So I was stitching this with my trusty favourite hoop, but actually I've put it into a big nurge because I think I really like nurges. I really like the way that they make the fabric really taut. That's the right word, isn't it? And but I'm very wary that they can damp. That I've had a couple of an instance where my fabric has been slightly damaged, so I'll only really try and use them when I know that it's being held outside of the stitching area. And this isn't quite. I think that this will come down a little bit further, but the majority of it is okay. And I think what I tend to do is once I do put it into a nurge, although I do loosen it in between sessions, I try and tend not to take it in and out and in and out. Yeah, because I think that kind of constant in and out perhaps wouldn't be great. So love that I've made some progress on that. I have another 2 sessions in February to do on that, but potentially more might be stitched. This is a fabulous chart. I'm stitching this as a part of a stitch along with Lauren from Flossabilities, Sherry from Just So Sherry, and Rachel from Talking Dog Stitcher. And actually I know that Lauren and I both bought this chart at Talking Dog Stitchery, the online store that Rachel runs. And just a reminder, if you want to purchase anything from Rachel, I do have a little affiliate code which is Flossie5, and if you use that in the code box when you're making a purchase, needs to be minimum spend of £10, you can get a little 5% discount off your shop, which every little bit helps, doesn't it? So yeah, so that's Flossie5. So please go and have a look at Talking Dog Stitchery for any of your stitching goods. So I think, yeah, I'd love to see what progress the others are making on this. I think I'm possibly a little bit ahead at the moment. And really, so I'm really glad it was on my Whip Go board because I've really enjoyed making some progress on it. Another one that I haven't picked up for a while. Oh, did I say? Oh, yes. So my other Whip Go for February is Feast of Friendship. I'm not quite as enthused about picking that one up, but I will, and I think that's the whole point of Whip Go, isn't it? It kind of gives you a, oh, go on, pick it up, go on, do it. So I will. But yeah, I've still got 3 weeks nearly of February to do that. So another one that I have been a bit trying to think of the word, a bit, I've not been naughty because it's not naughty, been a bit amiss maybe at not stitching on Barbara Anna on Wednesdays. Now, it was always tradition that I would stitch on a Barbara Anna on a Wednesday night with my lovely friend Stitchy Sally, and there are so many of you lovely people that have now joined us. And with the Fun for 50 Sal and all the 50 new starts, it kind of got a bit swept under the carpet. But you'll know that I did a little game with some of my friends on a call, so nearly about a week and a half ago, nearly 2 weeks ago, and we were all challenged to stitch on something. And my challenge was to stitch on Barbara Anna Light, and my challenge was to stitch 250 stitches. So actually, since that call, I'll show you where this was when I showed it to you last time. I think I'd done some of the skirt, and I've actually I've done most of the skirt now. There's just 5 stitches in the skirt that are missing. But I've since done this at the bottom of the skirt, filled in all the white bits, started Foxy's white kind of face, and I've gone up to her ears and her eyes, and I've started the house, the first house here. So I've actually done 750 stitches so far since that call where I was challenged to do 250. So I'm quite pleased. This is on a Fabric by Crafty Kate. It was a fabric of the month, but I believe she will dye this for you. I think if she's put it into her main range, it's called Regal, but I know Jackie at the Comfort Stitcher has ordered it, and it was called Regal. And I've stitched it with some of the called for DMCs, but then I've also added in some colours of my own. So the dress is in Classic Colourworks Nighty Night, and this colour here, which is the stars as well, is Classic Colourworks Cinnamon Toast. So super chuffed that I'm back to Barbara Anna Wednesdays with Stitchy Sally. Really enjoy those. So that's all my whips. Oh, is that a needle? Where did that needle come from? Oh, that's probably in the thing in it. There we go. So those are my whips. So I haven't stitched on a huge number of projects, but I seem to have made pretty good progress on most of them, which I'm quite pleased about. Now, I said I would show you my Valentine stitches. So these are a little bit, I think a couple of people have been stitching these. I think Brenda and the Serial Starter, she'd showed the chart for this. So it's Brenda Gervais at Love Notes, and she showed this a couple of weeks ago and said, I'm going to stitch on these. And actually, I stitched on these last year. And here, so this one is Love You a Latte. I think Brenda said she wasn't going to do this one because her and her husband don't really drink coffee, but I love that one, and it's got some beautiful Tilda fabric on the back. And this was the other one, Be Mine, which is gorgeous. And I've done these on a 40 count fabric. It was a mystery fabric, I'm not sure what it was, and that is a lovely that's a mode of fabric on the back, part of a lovely set of fabric that I had. The other little Halloween Valentines. So these were both done. I'm just trying to see if this is stitched with one strand or two. So I think I did these in 2022. And yeah, it looks like I've actually stitched both of them over with 2 strands. So excuse me, these are both freebies from Stone, how I've written it. Stone Street Stitchworks. I think I got them off their website. So it'll be under freebies. And these are really cute. I've stitched them in, I can't remember what colours I've stitched them in, but that one is that's something like 321, and that one's a darker kind of pinky red. And then I've used the same fabric on the back. This is definitely a Moda quilting fabric that I've used on the back just to make those into little pillows as well. So those will be in my Valentine's display as well. Lovely Let Love Grow. This is from Hands on Design. So this is the little chart that Kathy designed last year and gave away as a freebie. She does one every year as part of the Valentine celebration, and also to celebrate her wedding anniversary with Mr. Hands on Design. And that was last year's. This year's freebie is lovely. Now, I got her newsletter, which had a link to this in it. And so I believe, I'm not too sure how you get it if you don't get her newsletter, but go and have a look on her website. Go and have a look on her Instagram. So that's Kathy at Hands on Design, because no doubt she will say there how you get hold of that freebie. But it's beautiful. I made a decision. I didn't need a new start this week. So I'm not going to stitch it just yet, but I probably will stitch it after Valentine's Day as a little freebie when I've got a sudden urge that I need to really start something. It'll be good to do something small like that I can finish quite quickly. So those are my items that I fully finished. Now this is another one. Now I think I stitched this in 2021 or 2022. I can't quite remember. I don't know who designed it. It was a freebie, and it's definitely stitched with 2 strands, with two threads over 2 over 2. So it's one I have stitched quite a while ago, but and I need to finish it. So Valentine's Day next Friday. Let's see if I can get that finished to give to Mr. Flossie Sews and Grows. And then you've seen this one before. This was For Thee by Lila's Studio. This is another freebie that you can get off Lila's website. And I need to get this finished for next week as well to give to Mr. Flossie Sews and Grows. I love stitching this. And again, this is one that was stitched. I started it last year as part of the Fun for 50 sale with Sarah to celebrate our 50th birthday, and I stitched it. Alex Stitches stitched it. A few people did. I think most of us finished it actually, because it's not a massive design, but there is quite a lot of stitching with those Quakers in there. But it is beautiful. So it'd be really good to get that and be able to give it to him next week. So those are just my little Valentine stitches that I've got downstairs displayed in my dough bowl that I just thought might give you a bit of inspiration. And if you thought, well, I want to stitch something for next week, but I haven't got a lot of time and I don't want to buy anything new, those little kind of Quaker hearts from Stone Street Stitch Works are Stone Street Stitch Works, yes, are really great, and they didn't take long at all. So they're really good if you just want something quick and easy. Or there is the new hands-on design freebie from Kathy. And actually, I think on Kathy's website you can get all of the freebies that she's ever, all of the Valentine's freebies that she's ever released there. So if there's any of her older ones as well that you want to do, you can. So what's next? So I'm really, really honoured to have been gifted the next box as well for the Cotton and Twine subscription by Historical Sampler Company. Thrilled that they've asked me to have one early so that I can show it to you and show you what's in it, and obviously encourage you or tell you about it so that if you'd like to go and buy it, there is plenty of time. So again, beautifully boxed up. They send these lovely boxes, which somebody said to me, "You're going to colour it in?" And yeah, possibly, or might get my daughter to. Just the way they come is just so beautifully packaged, and so lovely. So let me show you what's in the February box. So this is a beautiful design, and this is a design which is designed by the Historical Sampler Company team this time. So it's a Happy Easter stitch, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Super cute bunny, just really happy, beautiful colours. And again, you know, the chart for this is great. It comes in colour and also black and white, so you can choose what you want to use. And there are some finishing, I'll show you the finishing bits that are in here, and it does give you a little instructions inside to tell you how to finish it. And there is also a going to be a YouTube video also with a full tutorial on how to finish it on that as well. So that was the design with gorgeous 32. I've had the linen, obviously, which is 32 count. It's a beautiful Zweigart, which I believe I don't know what colour it is, but I believe they said this has been coloured especially for them. So it's beautiful, and then gorgeous colours. again on a great bit of cardboard, all labelled up really, really well. Again, I will probably cut these down and pop them on some floss drops just to make it easier to use. But wonderful, wonderful colours, really nice and spring-like. And so the finishing bits that come in the box to finish it off, so it's finished as a flat fold, or a flat lay, and then there's some lovely gingham. That's just half of it. I've folded it in half, as you can see. Some lovely gingham and some white rickrack, so that if you can see, you finish it as a flat fold, and you have the gingham underneath, and then the rickrack to put all around it. And I think you can also hang it with that rickrack as well, so you can just see there the gingham poking through. So it's absolutely fantastic to also have those little bits of finishing with them as well. Now, there are always some goodies in these boxes. A tea. Then, oh, my daughter has already spotted this. She'll come in from school and she'll say, "What have you had? What's been delivered now?" And she looked and she was like, "Oh, that looks nice." A lovely big, huge, big chocolate coin, chocolate coin, which I might have to share with her. And then this is just the most beautiful little bunny ornament. So I think this will be fantastic. I think I'm going to stitch that Easter stitch and it will go on my mantelpiece, and I think little bunny will sit next to it. She's just so cute. We got her in. That's better. She's just gorgeous. With little knitted legs. So another fabulous subscription box from Cotton and Twine. The subscription boxes are £20 a month for a box with Ada, or 22 if you want it with linen. The subscription, this one has opened already, so you can go on the website and purchase this box already, and it will close on the 25th of February. So you've got 2 weeks from now until the 25th of February 2025 to go and buy that. So Cotton and Twine do monthly subscriptions. They have 3, 6 and 12 month subscription plans, which actually make the box a little bit cheaper, so they reduce the price of each box. But at the moment, if you've never bought one before, they have a special little code of first 15. I'll just write it here as well to make sure I'm saying it correctly and you see it as well, which is 15% off your first purchase this month. So if you've never had a box before and you'd like to try one, here it is the code to get you a 15% discount. So absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to start this one. I think tomorrow I will be stitching part number 2 on, well, this weekend, might not get it done in a day, on the Stitching My Way to Happiness, and I might just start straight away on this box so that next time I see you, you can see what it looks like stitched up. It'd be really good to be able to show you that. So yeah, so it's a fabulous box. So I will link below the website for Cotton and Twine, or for the Historical Sampler Company for the Cotton and Twine subscription box. So go and have a look at that. So what other plans have I got? On Sunday, actually, I am going to be doing some stitching on my quacker. So you know, there are a gang of us who all started or got the quacker at Big Stitch last year, and all started it on the same day last year. And Laura from Cotton and Clay is one of the gang who is doing that, and she messaged us all and said, "Oh, I kind of need a bit of encouragement to get stitching. Does anyone else?" It was like, "Oh yeah, do a little bit." And because there's so many other projects, and she said, "Why don't we have a ducky day?" So we've decided that every second Saturday of the month, second Sunday of the month, will be Ducky Day, and we'll all work. Well, those of us who would like to, will work on our quacker. So if you'd like to join us, so our plan is to get this stitched by Big Stitch next year, which has just been announced. So if you want to find out a little bit more about Big Stitch, go over and have a look at their Instagram page. They also have, I think they also have a Facebook page, and I think they also have a website with lots of details about the Big Stitch. So that's really exciting. It's next June 2026. So we've got a bit of time, but I think to encourage us and get us stitching, Ducky Day on the second Sunday of the month is going to be fantastic. It's really good. I have got it on my Whip Go board as well, but obviously that might not come up until later in the year, so we'll see. What else am I? So yes, I do need to get some work on my Whip Goes as well, and yeah, I think that's about it. I have one piece of haul. You've heard me say, try not to spend any money, but one of my friends was doing a bit of a de-stash, and she put this up, and I've got Spring Quaker, and I thought, well, it's a perfect opportunity to buy summer Quaker as well, so I bought it. So got that on a de-stash. So, but I am still being pretty careful other than that, so I'm quite pleased with that. Not watched an awful lot of Flosstube, just work has been very busy. Definitely the last 2 weeks. And I have felt sometimes I've come and I've sat down and I've stitched, and I've just thought, actually, I can stitch, but I need quiet. I need to, oh, can you tell the sun's just come out, and whoa, blinding me. Yeah, it really blinding me now. Goodness gracious me, where's that come from? Amongst the cloud. And now I've kicked the tripod. It's all going to pot in the last 2 minutes. It's all going to pot. What was I saying? I haven't watched an awful lot of Flosstube just because I've needed that kind of quiet time after work. So I have got lots of Flosstube to go and catch up on. Lots to catch up on. Yeah, lots to watch and see what's been going on with everyone else. Yeah, so I think that's me. Lots of stitching done, lots more to do. And yeah, the sun's going back in behind that cloud now. I just popped out to say hello to everybody. We do occasionally get some sun in Wales, not very often, but we do. So it's been lovely to chat to you today. I really hope that you're well, whatever part of the world you're in, safe, warm, happy, and lovely to show you my stitching. I do hope you'll tell me a bit more about your stitching down below, and yeah, it's been great to catch up with you, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.